Hello, everybody. It is Friday, September 6th, about 10:30 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. Anyway, I don't know where you're watching me from, but we are broadcasting out live. And we'd love to do a Q&A with you like I've been doing recently. And if you want to ask any questions, just make sure to go over to VeganVideos.info. That's our YouTube channel for the nonprofit. I'm with theplantbaseddiet.org. You'll see it when you type in VeganVideos.info in any browser, and then you can go to our live stream and you can just type in questions there, because some of the platforms that we're broadcasting to, such as Facebook groups, don't allow questions to go through. But definitely, if you're out there, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, say hi, say anything you want. It'll also attract people that we're online now, and that maybe they'll join us for this. And so you may be watching it live, like right now, or you may end up watching it later because it saves it as a video in the different groups and pages and YouTube channels that we're on. So anyway, before I get into this, let me mention my last video was on water quality in the environment, and I forgot to mention, which you may have seen in a lot of different videos, not just videos, but movies like What the Health. They talk about how, hey Marianne, you'll like this. I know you and I talked about this recently, how I'd say, let's see if I can phrase it right. You can't be an environmentalist unless you're vegan. Right? Do you agree with that, Marianne? Type yes or no. You cannot be an environmentalist, really care passionately about the environment, unless you're vegan. And I forgot to mention that in the big long video I did about water quality last time, because so many things involving water quality are a result of non-vegan practices, and that's why people say that. Do you agree with that? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments. Anybody out there, just if you agree with it or not, let me know or not. I'm really glad I have this water. I need it. That's close to the original. Yeah, the original quote was like a double negative, I think. You can't be vegan and not be an environmentalist. That's a double negative, so I didn't want to use that. So I rephrased it. You must be vegan to be an environmentalist. How about that? I guess that's it? Yeah, okay. All yeses, all positive. Yeah, keep away from the double negatives. Okay, so that I just want to kind of add that in from last time, because that was important and I left that out. And I couldn't believe I left that out after I did the video, because it is so important. But this video, we want to talk about cancer. Okay, now this is a big deal, a really big deal, because so many people are getting cancer, and actually even more people these days are getting cancer. And don't think this is about a human health thing. Don't tune me out because you think this is all about human health. This also goes back to the environment, and it goes back to animal welfare and animal rights, okay? It's all tied into cancer. If you're concerned about cancer, if you're concerned about animal rights, the environment, or human health, you need to be concerned about cancer. There it is. You cannot be an environmentalist without being vegan. I think that's close. Yeah, that's probably it. It doesn't sound as bad as what I was remembering it as, like a double negative. All right, well, this is, like I said, this is a video on cancer, but don't think it's really going to be specific to only human health, because it's not. If you're concerned about the environment or animals, animal rights, you will need to know some of the stuff here that I'm going to talk about concerning cancer. And it may be that you don't know about this stuff. It may be that you already know it and you didn't make the connection. But either way, I think it's important. I think it'll bring up a lot of things to talk about. And if you think of anything, while I'm making this video, by all means, please, just go ahead and type something in the comments. And like I said, Marianne's typing to me. I think she's on Facebook. I can see right now. I don't know if she's probably on the Southwest Florida SWFL Veg Fest page. Oh, and by the way, oops, I've got my shirt on again. This is our flagship event, Sunday, February 16th, 2020, Bonita Springs, Florida. It's free general admission, so make sure you book your tickets now. I say tickets, I mean plane tickets. Get out of the cold rest of the United States and go down to Florida in February. All right, so where was I? Let's start talking about cancer. And something that kind of shocked me recently when I heard it is a report that came out that said that in the world's most developed countries, and I guess apparently the United States is not one of the most developed countries, that cancer rates as a cause of death, is now overtaking cardiovascular or heart disease as a cause of death. Okay, I guess people are wising up to cardiovascular disease and the causes of that, but now cancer is taking over. Cancer is a huge deal, okay? Not just dying from it, but the chemotherapy and all these other treatments that are out there that are popular for treating it. And, by the way, we're not talking about any one specific case, medical issue here. We're not. We're talking about just cancer in general and lifestyle choices that you can make that will help. And if you do have cancer, by all means, go get treated immediately. But our goal here is to prevent cancer. We don't want anybody to have to go through the crazy, terrible experience of having to treat cancer. I don't think I've ever heard that's been pleasant from anyone. And not to mention everybody you bring along with you, your friends, family, and everything else that's got to help out, because you really can't do it on your own. I guess you can if you need to, but rarely is that the case. There's a lot of victims of cancer, and it's not just people that get the cancer, it's everybody else involved. So we want to try to avoid the suffering if we can, avoid the cancer. So let's see. Let me give you another statistic. Let me open up my phone. These are my amazing visual aids. Okay, you may have heard like Dr. Michael Greger, right? Dr. Michael Greger, he's a great guy. He's going to be at four of our festivals this year. Whoa, what is that? 4. Okay. Go to VeganVideos.info if you want to find out what they are. Just scroll down, VeganVideos.info. Dr. Greger will be at Charlotte County Veg Fest March 2nd, which is a Monday. I know it's a weird day, but it's the only day we can get him. And then he will be at Savannah Veg Fest in Savannah, Georgia. Check the date on our calendar. Raleigh Veg Fest in Raleigh, North Carolina. Check the date on our calendar. And also Fairfax Veg Fest in Northern Virginia, just outside of D.C. We've got him at 4 events. You may have heard his How Not to Die book, where he lists like the 15 leading causes of death and basically how not to die from those. But what he doesn't tell you so much in that book, which is nothing against Dr. Greger, he's an awesome guy. He's just a middleman. He's conveying all the information, all the facts, which is great. That most people die of only a very few reasons. The vast majority of people, and I didn't realize this until recently. Here's my visual aid. Can you see it? Let's see. I don't even know if you can see it. You can't see it. All you see is a light. Wait, there. Now I'm seeing it. That's weird. Okay, well, let's see. You can't even see the. Oh, there. You can see the graph. Okay, look here. You see how these top 2 causes of death are way higher than the other ones. The other ones are much smaller amounts of total deaths, but these first 2, what are they? I think we already know if you heard Dr. Greger. Cardiovascular disease is a top one. And worldwide in 2016, there were about 18 million deaths attributed specifically to cardiovascular disease. Number 2 is cancer, and that's 9 million deaths. Okay, this is 2016. I don't know what country this was in, and it could have been just the United States. I have no idea. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at is the percentage of deaths. Are we doing Levi Wallach, are you guys doing Loudoun County Veg Fest? Yes, Loudoun Veg Fest. That's not till next October. We were going to try to do it this October. We really wanted to, but we just totally ran out of time. So next October 2020 is Loudoun Veg Fest, and it's going to be, we got an awesome location for that one too. I think it's in there, Villages of Leesburg. Levi, you've been to Villages of Leesburg? There's a supercharger there. I supercharge there a lot with my Tesla, and it's an awesome shopping center that they have there too. I think we're going to get the whole middle of that thing closed down, and we're going to use that for our event. And they usually have a stage area. They got this little fire area outside with an eternal flame or something. I don't know what that thing is. But yeah, we are doing it. So thanks for bringing that up. Go to VeganEvents.info to find out about all the events that we have launched at this point in time. We will be launching more. Okay, let's get back to what we were talking about though. The outlets. No, not the outlets. The outlets are on 15, right? We are on 7, right where the Wegmans shopping center is. You know, the new Wegmans, Villages of Leesburg. That's where we're going to be. And actually, there's a really cool coffee shop in there, too. Actually, I don't even drink that much coffee. And actually, I would say get off of coffee if you can. And I'm going to talk more about coffee later. But they have some really good coffee in that Loudon Bean or something like that. It's in Villages of Leesburg. Okay. So, cardiovascular disease and then cancer are the top 2 causes of death by far. I mean, if you're going to die of anything, it's most likely going to be one of those 2, cardiovascular disease and cancer. And of course, we know that cardiovascular disease is caused by animal products and high-fat diets. Even if you're eating a vegan diet, if it's high-fat, and I found that out myself by doing the 21-day Kickstart program at Green Fair Organic Cafe recently, you got to cut down the fats. That's going to hurt your cardiovascular system, and you may die. Now, cancer, that's number 2, and rising, like we said. It is rising. This is going to become more and more of an issue as we go. I don't drink anymore either. Leave it. Yeah, don't drink it. I say coffee, stay off the stuff. Any kind of severe mood-altering drug, truly, you want to stay away from if you can. You want to kind of keep more of a level, more of a balance. And whenever you inject caffeine into your system and then a depressant like alcohol or something like that, you're just messing with the balance. And we're going to get into alcohol more here too, talking about cancer. So, okay, so cancer is rising. Cancer is a big deal. What causes cancer? So many people say, well, everything causes cancer, so I'm not going to do anything because everything causes cancer. And there is some truth to that, because I'd say that most of the ways that we are brought up here in the United States and in the world, because everyone tries to be like people from the United States, we pick up a lot of bad habits. And we're really brainwashed. I mentioned this in the last video on the environment. Let's face it, you don't have any choice when you're a kid. You don't have any choice when you're a toddler, when you're a baby, what you're eating. Your parents just do what they do, and then you pick up on it. So nobody's trying to brainwash you. Nobody's out to get you. But your whole mindset, right? Your whole mindset is developed at an early age, and then you act out for the rest of your life based on some things that you had no control over. It's funny because people, especially in the United States, think, well, gosh, I'm doing this with my life because this is what I decide. This is what I'm doing. Now go back, let's say, like, for example, your food habits. You're doing this in your life because this is what you're doing? Really? Is that really a choice? If you're eating the same food that you grew up on, are you really making any choices? No, I don't think so. I think you were programmed at an early age, and you're just acting on that programming. You're not making individual choices. If you were really thinking, let's say, about food, for instance, you'd want to know, okay, what's going to be best for my body? My body's a machine. What do I need to do? What do I need to eat? And you'd act on that. Those people are actually making real choices. People who are just doing what they were taught growing up are not really doing what they necessarily want to do. And if they thought about it, they would likely make different decisions. Andrew Burt, hey, how's it going? Drinking my water. And by the way, this is distilled water. This is not tap water. And we're going to get into that later. If I forget to talk about tap water, let me know. Okay, back to cancer. So everything could potentially cause cancer, okay? And most of the things that you are doing or have been doing, if you just grew up a certain way and just followed what you were taught, you probably are likely going to develop cancer. If heart disease doesn't get you first, and you stop the heart disease, and we become more developed as a society, cancer is going to hit us even more. It's going to keep hitting us, and in most cases, it's preventable. Now, let's talk in general about cancer, because cancer is, of course, a disease state. But there's always cancer cells in your body. It's always a balance. Your whole body, your whole system, your whole machine is always trying to keep in balance. And cancer signifies something severely out of balance. Actually, most things that we consider symptoms, in 2019, are actually your body telling you things are out of balance. Let's do something to correct that. Marianne, she types, we inherit our family's recipes. They impact us more than our inherited genes. Yes, absolutely. I completely agree with that. Our genes will load the gun, but the lifestyle dial pulls the trigger. Yes, absolutely. So like when people, I know you agree with this, Marianne, or type yes if you do, or type different if you don't. But people say it's genetic. The genetic was the conditioning. The genetics were the people who are related to you that conditioned you and taught you what you're doing. And that's the biggest problem of all. How do I know I have cancer? Pham Trung. Go to the doctor. They have tests, right? I can't tell you. We're just talking about cancer in general in this video. If you think you have cancer, by all means, see a physician, get tested, okay? There are tests that can determine this. Okay, cancer's out of balance, though. It represents out of balance. Typically, most people that have cancer, from what I understand, and I am not a doctor, they have a more acidic body condition rather than an alkaline body condition. Okay, so that's the main balance that has been upset. Okay, a weakened immune system allows cancer to grow. Yeah, I think it does too. It's so many things have to be out of balance to really let cancer take over. So a weakened immune system is one. Having an acidic pH in your body as opposed to alkaline pH, which is what you want. Now, what gives you alkaline pH? In general, plants. Plants, eating plant foods make your pH more alkaline in general. We're talking very general terms. And then animal products, including dairy, make you acidic. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why you don't want to eat animal products, because you want to keep that alkaline. You want to keep your body alkaline and don't get it. Keep it from being thrown out of balance is what you want to do. Okay, so let's talk about animal products some more. If you follow T. Cullen Campbell, right? His book, The China Study, kind of outlines this thesis that animal products, specifically animal protein, causes cancer in humans. So that's another thing. So again, we're saying eat more plants, don't eat animal products, not only because they throw your body out of whack into an acid condition, but because the protein in them is the wrong protein and it probably causes cancer. Okay, Marianne, let's see. Some people say 10% of our health destiny is determined by our genes and 90% is determined by our acidic diet and lifestyle. Yeah, I probably agree with that too. I think that's lifestyle is it. And actually, we are going to be talking more and more about lifestyle medicine here through the nonprofit. And actually, just to give you guys a sneak preview, we are actually launching another nonprofit, all right, that is specifically dedicated to medicine, looking at this from a medical point of view and lifestyle medicine specifically. So look out for that too. That's more in the very, very near future on that. But again, we're going to talk more about cancer in general, just things that the average Joe or Jane needs to know. So most people don't understand that acid-alkaline relation. Most people don't understand the animal product relation. Let's go and look up, and I've shared this on social media before recently, what actually is known to cause cancer. That's another thing, okay? T. Cullen Campbell, like I said, check out his book, The China Study, if you want to learn. Okay, I've got this little chart here. Let's see if you can see it. It's the IARC carcinogen classifications. IARC. You cannot see it there. You can see it a little bit there. But it divides it. It's red. Red is definitely causing cancer. Orange is, well, maybe it causes cancer. This is all backwards. Yellow is we're not quite sure, and then it goes down from there. So if you really want to prevent cancer, you got to get this chart, IARC. What is that? International something. If somebody knows what IARC is, let me know. International Agency for Research on Cancer. If you really want to try what you can do within reason, okay, because you can have some freak thing happen, you give you cancer for all I know. I don't know. But I'm talking about the average Joe, the average Jane, living your average life. For within reason, you don't want to get cancer. What are you going to avoid? You're going to want to avoid group 1 carcinogens. Now, if you saw What the Health, I'm bringing it up again, you recognize that they said, oh, let me get that out of my light. I hope that doesn't cause cancer. My phone could, for all I know, the radiation coming off of there. And What the Health, they talked about, what was it, cigarettes causing cancer, right? And they said, oh, plutonium, that causes cancer too, right? And you know what? Processed meat is in the same category as cigarettes and plutonium, and it is, actually. It's a class 1 carcinogen, so they were right. But you know what? They left a few things out in that movie. And, of course, there's a lot of powerful interests, right, that are keeping the status quo, and they don't want things to change. And what's the biggest industry you can think of, you know, that makes it sound like it's so much fun, but in reality is probably the most addicting legal drug there is? It's the alcohol industry, and they are class 1. Okay, group 1 carcinogens include smoking, which we talked about. What the hell? Don't everybody knows you smoke, you're probably going to get lung cancer. Probably. I think everybody knows that. Ultraviolet exposure, the sun. You can get your 15 minutes a day for your vitamin D, but don't get even 16 minutes because that stuff, the sun is incredibly powerful, especially when you're closer to the equator, especially when you're in the warm months and the sun is at a stronger angle. Have even less. Cover up. Just wear. I use an umbrella nowadays. I know that anybody ever use an umbrella when you're walking out? I do a lot of walking outside. I'm tired of wearing hats, and they don't even cover everything. But an umbrella actually does a really good job. So exposure to solar radiation, smoking, alcoholic beverages. That's what I'm getting to. Alcohol is an absolute group 1 known carcinogen. I mean, how many people do you know that have breast cancer? Okay, breast cancer is a huge, huge issue, especially in the United States. And yeah, people are saying, well, yeah, it's animal products. Well, not necessarily. How many people who get breast cancer drink alcohol on a regular basis? I'm guessing probably a lot of people, okay? And I would never advise drinking alcohol on a daily basis, by the way. Never. If it's a group 1 carcinogen, is it okay to smoke 1 cigarette a day? I don't think so. I don't think anybody would want to, who is concerned about their health, even smoke 1 cigarette a day. Here's the other one, processed meats. Processed meats is in that category. So anyway, What the Health did not talk about alcoholic beverages. Why? Well, as much as they claim it's a conspiracy theory for all this stuff, alcohol, the alcoholic industry, everybody involved with it has got such a grip on society right now that nobody wants to talk about this because it is right up there with all these things, okay? I think everybody knows, especially if you're in Florida, if you spend too much time out in the sun, you're going to get cancer. So all these things, it's not a question of like smoking, exposure to solar radiation, alcoholic beverages, processed meats. It's not a question of will they cause cancer. They are known to cause cancer. There is no doubt. The only question is, how much of it is it going to take to give you as an individual cancer, since everyone's different and everyone has different tolerances? I mean, some people I hear, hardly spend any time outside ever, and they die of skin cancer. You may know of some examples like that. I've definitely heard people like that. I'm like, this person never spends any time outside, but they're just hypersensitive to that. So you can roll the dice, but if I were you, like I said, I would never spend more than 15 minutes a day outside. And if you do, make sure you're completely covered up. And actually, I spend way more than that. But I'm completely covered up, or I'm carrying around an umbrella or a hat or something like that. That's what you have to do. That's why I'm so white. I mean, tans are so out. Tans are so 1980. Don't even do the spray tans. That's chemicals. We'll get into that later too. All right, let's get into group 2. Group 2 carcinogens are probably carcinogenic to humans. They are emissions from high temperature frying. Yeah, carotenoids or something like that. Anytime you cook anything 350 degrees or above, you create these carotenoids. I think someone correct me if you know what these are. But they are actually carcinogenic to humans. So anytime you're doing something on a grill and stuff, you're usually creating those as well. Steroids is in here. Exposures to working in hairdressing. I'm not really big into that, thankfully. And then red meat, just any kind of red meat. See, the first one, group 1, was processed meat. All right, that's what's gotten everybody's attention. But just any old red meat is probably, group 2A, probably carcinogenic to humans, which is, it says limited evidence in humans, sufficient evidence in animals. Group 1, just for reference, is sufficient evidence in humans, casual relationship established. So group 2, they just don't have enough evidence in humans, but animals, I guess they test on animals, which is not vegan as we know, but they've done it. So I'm just letting you know what they say. All right, let's see. Then we got group 2B. It's possibly. So where you're just going down, 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 right? Oh, wait, Levi, have you read Eat to Beat Disease? The author talks a lot about cancer, how it develops, what causes it, and what foods to eat to combat it. I have not read that. It sounds like a good book. But I do know some, I'm sure it'll be some good knowledge to pick up. I'm just talking about some really, really general things. Maybe they talk about general things, but it sounds like maybe they talk about some really specific foods too. I don't know. But I'd say the more plants you eat and the less animal products, that's the general thing for sure. And of course, the better plants is the other thing. If you look at our food pyramid, acrylamide, that's it. Yeah, acrylamide. If you look at our nonprofit logo, aplantbaseddiet.org. If you can't see it, just go to aplantbaseddiet.org, either the website or the Facebook page. You'll see our little food pyramid, and we list like the foods at the bottom which you want to have more of. So this is what I follow, and I think it does help with cancer too. is you want to have mostly clean water. Then you want to have leafy green vegetables, which are full of all kinds of phytonutrients. And then you want to have regular fruits and vegetables on top of that. And where else do we go? We go from there. You don't want to have a lot of nuts and seeds, avocados. You don't want to have a lot of microgreens. Some, but not that many. And then grains are just below those three. But it's really fruits and vegetables and mostly greens and water. That's really what you want. So let me go back. I already lost what I was looking at. Okay. 2B, or not to be, possibly carcinogenic to humans, limited evidence in humans, insufficient evidence in animals. This includes coffee. Okay, why? Because coffee is incredibly acidic. Okay, that's my big beef with coffee. I have had a day where I've had just 2 large cups of coffee one day, and I doubled over in pain in my gut because I could just feel the acid change in my body. And I usually eat an alkaline diet, and that just really gets to you. Gasoline engine exhaust, welding fumes, pickled vegetables is another one. Anyway, stay away from those things. The rest of it is not, we don't really know, okay? Magnetic fields, it says here. Magnetic fields, which is like EMFs coming off, radiation coming off of here too, I think is carcinogenity not classifiable. Inadequate evidence. I don't know. So if they don't even know if like your microwave oven or your cell phone's causing cancer, and they know that all this other stuff is, why would you, if you're even concerned about the microwave or your cell phone, why would you ever want to drink alcohol? Ever? I mean, think about it. Yeah, we don't know how much alcohol is it going to take to give you cancer, but do we even need to know if you're concerned about the microwave and your cell phone and yet you're still drinking alcohol? We don't need to know. Just don't do it. Okay, stay away from fortified foods. Yeah, I guess that's just more of a supplement, right? So let me think about, I'm doing all this without notes, trying to remember everything I want to talk about. Well, I think you get the idea. This is not a mystery what causes cancer. All right, not a mystery at all. Yet most people don't even follow it, and they say it's such a tragedy that all this cancer is happening. And don't point a finger at just one of them, okay? You need to look at all those things that definitely cause cancer, and you need to eliminate those. And it's not like you can't do anything ever again. You just don't do the things that will likely cause you to be incredibly sick. That's all. That's all we're saying. You know, magnetic fields, yeah. See, Levi, yeah. They don't even know if magnetic fields cause cancer, but they know that alcohol causes cancer. They know that tobacco smoke causes cancer. They know that ultraviolet radiation causes cancer. And what was the other one? Processed meats. All those 4 are in the top category. So please, if you don't want to have to go through this and you don't want your friends and family to have to go through it, just tell them to not do that stuff anymore. There is no reason to do that except for programmed societal expectations, I guess. Something like that. Let me know if you have another way of describing it. Brainwashing, programming, peer pressure, that's all it is. And those things are all able to be overcome by a human who decides to use their brain. So that's important. Now let's get into some other things, because we talked about, now how am I going to tie this around to animal rights? How am I going to tie this around to protection of animals? How am I going to tie this into the environment? Because I told you I would in the beginning of this. And by the way, if you're just joining us now, go to VeganVideos.info. You'll see our live stream on YouTube. Type me some questions. Any kind of questions you have, I'll answer them. We don't have that many people on right now, which is great. So I can, anybody who types anything, I'll respond to. Unless you're going to call me some profanity or something like that. All right, let's try to figure out how we can tie this to animals and animal rights, just because that seems like the most distant one, right? How are you tying cancer to animal rights? Well, if you are mostly concerned about animals and animal rights, I don't think you want animals to get cancer either, right? It's not just about humans getting cancer. I didn't put that in the title of this video. What causes cancer in humans probably causes it in animals. As you've seen, they talk about different cancers. And of course, I think, whoa, sorry about that. We all know that animals do get cancer. And if you're still eating animal products, think about this for a minute. How do you know that the animal that you're eating, the steak or hamburger or whatever it was, didn't have cancer right before it was killed? do you think they're really being monitored well to even tell if they have cancer, or if they had the flu or some death, some severe illness? They don't know. They don't care in most cases. So any kind of non-perfect health condition that the animal is in, you're getting that, okay, when you eat animal products. And it may have cancer. Why would an animal get cancer? Obviously, from what we've seen, a lot of the same reasons that a human might get cancer. Another thing to think about is, and I talked about this in the environment video, non-organic foods. I know, I spent a lot of time at Green Fair Organic Cafe, and Gwen Whitaker, if you're out there, Gwen, say hi to Gwen. She talks about, and Pericles, that if you're eating non-organic food, which is all food, unless it truly is organic, which most food isn't, if you're eating organic food, you're not going to eat 400 or so chemicals that are normally present and found in non-organic food. So, of course, we talked about in other videos about the environment, how most of the crops and plants grown are done to feed animals, and most of them are non-organic. They're fed to animals. These animals are probably getting cancer, okay? So you need to be concerned about what's being farmed, about what people are eating, etc., etc. If you really care about these animals, even if they're being farmed, of course you don't want them to be farmed, but if they are being farmed, you don't want them to get cancer, right? You don't want them to suffer in other ways. Of course, we all know they're suffering because a lot of the conditions that the factory farms are in are not good. And of course, they're ultimately being killed, and none of them want to die. But there also could be suffering all along with health problems due to eating non-organic food nonstop, which may cause cancer, the chemicals in it. Now, I don't know exactly what all chemicals are in there, but let's take, for instance, glyphosate, which is Roundup. And it's not mentioned in that chart right now for cancers. But you probably have heard that there have been court cases, specifically I think in California, where several victims that claim to get cancer because of exposure to Roundup or glyphosate have won very, very large jury verdicts. So there is some kind of correlation there, obviously. Exactly what, we don't know. But my own thinking, and I explained this process of how this stuff works in the environment and the water quality video I did. Just look at water quality. I should type in Q&A, hurricane water quality. I think I said that. That's what it was. Well, let's just do a quick explanation here. What they do is, instead of individually spraying weeds to kill them, which is the old method with chemicals, which is bad enough, they develop these GMO products where you can spray the whole field, including all the good food you want to keep, like soybeans or corn, whatever, and this glyphosate gets absorbed into those plants, and then you eat them, and they claim it does nothing to affect negatively human health, which I don't believe. I'm thinking it probably does cause cancer, is what I've always thought, and I think the courts are now showing that that's probably the case. We don't have enough scientific evidence, but if you go to Consumer Reports, they test organic and non-organic foods, and they found and find glyphosate in almost every single non-organic food, even some that are labeled organic because they are lying. But the ones that are truly organic, they don't find any glyphosate in, or at least very minimal. But the ones that are grown with using non-organic methods, which is almost everything out there, that kind of stuff is it's got glyphosate in it. You're eating the glyphosate, and you would never drink that stuff out of the bottle of Roundup, right? But so if you would never drink that stuff out of the bottle of Roundup, why would you eat it, knowing that it's present in non-organic food? This is something that you really need to consider. You wonder why everything causes cancer. No, everything doesn't cause cancer, but unfortunately, almost all of our food, so I guess you could say everything, almost everything is non-organic, right? It is. Now, there are some countries in Europe that have banned GMOs, but most of the world eats non-organic food. This is the big problem. This is why cancer rates are skyrocketing. This is why they're going to continue to go up. This is why, most deaths occur from either coronary diseases or cancers. So you need to start recognizing this as an individual. If you care about cancer, if you care about people who get cancer, you really need to move to an organic lifestyle. We do promote that here with the nonprofit, a veganic whole plant lifestyle. Veganic is actually better than organic, to step up above that, where they don't grow crops using animal manures and things like that. So I need to remember what I was going to talk about now. Okay, that kind of ties animal rights, animal welfare into the cancer equation, because we don't want any of those animals to get cancer, right? We don't want them to be factory farmed. We don't want them to be killed unwillingly, and we don't want them to get cancer. So this cancer needs to be a concern to you if you are vegan, even if you don't care about human health. You need to be concerned about this cancer aspect because the animals are getting it too. Now, the environment. How do we tie this back into the environment? Well, we just talked about organic foods and non-organic foods, and most foods non-organic. And animal agriculture creates giant messes, as we talked about in the water quality video, the last one I did. Well, if you care about the environment mainly as a vegan, then you need to be concerned about anything that causes cancer, because if you're talking about non-organic foods and we're saying they probably do cause cancer, even though I can't prove to you beyond a shadow of a doubt, and none of us I can prove to you really beyond a shadow of a doubt, but you've got to agree there's something there with glyphosate, Roundup, and the fact that almost all our food has that, and all kinds of things that are happening. Maybe even autism is tied into this. I have no idea. Okay, that could be a whole other video. But in terms of the environment, there is tremendous environmental destruction and water quality degradation and destruction happening due to non-organic agriculture and landscape practices. So if you are concerned about the environment, these practices not only destroy the environment, but they also cause cancer. You need to be concerned about cancer, because anything that causes cancer is probably destroying the environment as well. You know, any type of method like this, agriculture method or landscape method. So what you need to do if you're concerned about cancer and it will help the environment is only buy and utilize organic methods of agriculture, and in terms of landscapes, only really native landscapes and organically maintained landscapes as well. Those things are very, very important, and they will, prevent cancer in humans, but they will also clean up the water and clean up the environment. And I think a lot of these workers who are suing, I think that they're suing because of exposure on the job. I don't think that they're necessarily saying that they ate the food, non-organic food, that caused cancer. I think they were saying that because it was airborne, the stuff was airborne, that they're actually getting cancer. So if somebody knows about this, let me know. But all this is related. So I know this is kind of a depressing video. So that brings me back to water. Okay. So much in the Western lifestyle is just so toxic, right? We talked about animal products, chemicals in everything, it seems like, okay? Alcohol, like literally there's a bar on every corner, isn't there? If not more. This toxic lifestyle that we have includes our water. Now, I got this out of the tap here from a municipal system, but I would never, no, I didn't get out of the tap. Actually, I did not get this out of the tap. But many people drink tap water. I would never advise drinking any tap water. I don't care if it's from a municipal system or for your private well. Water has so many things that can contaminate it very easily, and municipal systems are one of the worst, especially if it's surface water, like from a river or lake, because rivers or lakes, as we talked about in the water quality video, are filthy. They're gross. I would never go into a lake, even on a boat, if water's splashing you. You know, you've heard of dogs dying when they go into lakes. This is just getting worse and worse over time. So if you've got surface water and your municipal system has to treat it, what are they doing? They're putting chlorine and all kinds of chemicals in here, okay, to treat it. And then if you drink it, you're drinking those chemicals, and I'm sure a lot of these chemicals may even, cause cancer. Arsenic. What else is from well water? There's radiant. Yeah, that's right. Irradi? No, it's radon. Radon, that's right. A lot of well water has radon in it. There's all kinds of issues. So you want the most pure water you can. You want to use, like, this is distilled water, reverse osmosis, something like that. Yes, water should be your beverage of choice, but what type of water? That may determine if you're going to get cancer or not. Okay? Again, not everything causes cancer. I think if you drink purified water, if you eat mostly plants, if you avoid being in the sun for more than 15 minutes a day, any kind of exposure, if you don't drink alcohol, you don't eat meats, actually you're not eating animal products, you're not going to do that anyway, the chance of you getting cancer is probably so small. And yeah, there is a chance. There's a chance I could get hit by a bus tomorrow too, okay? Or even today. But I'm not going to live my life assuming that some freak thing is going to happen. I'm going to go with what most likely is going to work and make my life more fun and more happy and everybody else around me. And that's what this video is talking about. This video isn't really depressing. It's like I'm trying to awaken people, okay? I'm trying to enlighten people because everything doesn't cause cancer. Walking around like a person who is a sheep and not thinking about anything and just doing what everyone else does is what really causes cancer. If you open your mind and you start thinking about what you're doing, you look at the research. I mean, my gosh, the internet's here. It's 2019. Most people don't even use the internet for all the information it provides, but by all means, please do that. And of course, we're going to talk about this kind of stuff on our social media, maybe at some of our events. And if you want to hear about our events, please go to VeganVideos.info. That's our calendar. VeganVideos.info, and check that out. Oh, and also something I forgot to talk about in the last video, which I will mention here briefly, is our certification program. We give people at our events, extra special things. Oh, I need to add that to one of the websites. Extra special privileges if you offer certified vegan food, which is what we call the healthy vegan food. You want to learn more about that? Go to healthyveganfood.info. Healthyveganfood.info, because most vegan food is actually not that healthy for you, believe it or not. Yeah, it doesn't contain the cancer-causing red meat or the cancer-causing processed meats, but you know what? Most alcohol is vegan. You think that's healthy for you? No. We know it is absolutely not healthy for you. Not to mention the addiction problems with alcohol, okay? And then, of course, all the bad behaviors. How many good decisions have you made after a few beers or glasses of wine? I mean, I bet you can remember all the bad ones, right? This doesn't even count any of that. I'm just talking about the cancer aspect. But for all these other reasons, you don't want to have it. Don't become one of those people that's under the influence every day of your life after 5 p.m. That's not fun, because you're going to end up getting cancer, probably some form of cancer. It's not fun at all. Now, what the wrong payback? It's the alcohol industry getting me. Okay, another shout out while I can't talk. Southwest Florida Veg Fest. That's where you want to go. VeganEvents.info. You'll find out about that event. Let's see, how long have I been talking? I think we started talking about 10:30. It's now 11:10, so we're getting along a little ways. But if you watch this video all the way to the end, thank you. And please share this video with somebody who needs to hear it. You can just show them. Actually, I'm going to fix the focus on this. You can just show them these items that I found, online. You can just Google them up, and they're actually images. So just type in whatever you want to look for, and I still feel like I'm not in focus. Hopefully that's better. But this video is just about done because I don't really have much more to say. I think that preventing cancer is not that difficult. It just requires you to think for yourself. And that's about it. If you want to live your life, afraid to make any waves, afraid to do something different than most other people are doing, you're going to suffer the same consequences as everyone else. And it's not fun. It's not enjoyable. Just like, someday in the future, I think a lot of vegans are saying, well, 50 years from now, it's going to seem so weird that people were eating animal products. Well, it's going to seem so weird that people were drinking alcohol and smoking. I think smoking is already in that category. I think right now, type me in here what you think about this, but correct me if I'm wrong, but if you smoke on a regular basis, that is such a throwback because that is old school, really. Maybe I just hang out with the right or the wrong people. I don't know. I don't hang out with people that smoke. It just is so 20 years ago or more at this point in time. But that's, I think, where any of these think about it. Any of these cancer-causing things, it's going to be the same way in another 20 years. The information is out there. Okay. Um, the only thing is, when are we going to get to a tipping point where something's going to be done about it? I think we've gotten to the tipping point for smoking. I know even Dr. Greger's brought this up in his How Not to Die talk. We know that, gotten to that tipping point. Solar radiation, I think, again, I feel that was 1980. I think the peak of smoking and tanning was like 1980, right? I think. Oh, and by the way, this is the other part I want to talk about, cancer. Cancer is not limited to the things that you put in your mouth or the things that you are around that are being sprayed around you, like workers with glyphosate. Anything you put on your body, this is how essential oils work. We're not going to get into it. But anything you put on your skin's the largest organ in the body, it gets absorbed in your body. So if you're a woman wearing makeup or using the spray tan stuff or whatever, it better be organic. Because if it's not, you're getting the same types of exposures that we're talking about here, which are likely carcinogenic with some of these chemicals, okay? You really want to get anything that touches your skin. I'm talking your deodorant. Sometimes it's really hard to find one that works, but also I found that if you clean up your diet, you're not eating animal products, you don't smell as bad. So the deodorant is not that big of a deal like it used to be, for me anyway, when I was eating animal products. I used to think that was genetic, the smells. No, it's what you eat, okay, for the most part. If you smell bad, it's probably because you're eating death, literally, and it's just oozing out of your body. Like people say like the meat sweats, it works with dairy too. So smoking is 1980. Tanning is 1980, maybe 1990. Maybe tanning was a little bit longer. I think we're getting to the tipping point with animal products now, and these are all from a cancer perspective too, because this is a video about cancer. And then alcohol is next. Alcohol is the big one that's going to need to fall. And it's kind of weird because we're talking about this in an age where it seems like craft breweries and wineries are popping up on every corner, right? And I've been to a lot of them too. But the more I look into this, I'm like, no, I need to not do that anymore. That stuff is not good. What kind of example is that? We know that alcohol causes cancer. We know. Just like we know there's other things cause cancer. And actually, the ultraviolet rays not only cause cancer, but they cause your skin to wrinkle up like a lizard. You don't want that either. So it's just something to think about. And I know it's a tough one, but that's why I'm making this video. We got to get out there, okay? And if you want to prevent cancer, you don't want to do it just because of your own health. Even if you don't give a crap about your own health, do it for the animals. Because you don't want the animals to get cancer. Develop an organic lifestyle. Even if the animals are still being farmed, it'll prevent that. Andrew Burt, yeah, hate that I love craft beer. Hey, get a non-alcoholic beer. Get kombucha. Kombucha is my new thing now. That is definitely the way to go, I think. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, do it for the environment, too. Even if you don't care about your own health and getting cancer, because organic practices will immensely benefit the environment. So anything you do to cut cancer in humans, whether it's your cancer or someone else's cancer, is going to benefit the animals, and it's going to benefit the environment. And yeah, the craft beer thing and the wine thing, I think they're at their peak now. That's just my opinion. And I think that they're going to be on the way out. Why are we not having cancer warning labels on all these things? If we have all these warning labels on cigarettes, why are we not having warning labels on alcohol? Why are we not seeing these giant signs when you walk into a bar that say that we're selling cancer-causing substances? I mean, you see even products you buy, most that contain plastics and stuff, they say that this product contains a chemical known by the state of California to cause cancer. Well, if you sit there and lick that plastic, whatever, or rub it in your skin, you probably will. It probably is carcinogenic. I don't even know what chemicals in there. If anyone knows, let me know. But why is this stuff not, why are we not stricter on alcohol? Why don't we see this stuff on processed meats? Why don't we see the labeling there either? It's not just alcohol. I'm not singling them out. Processed red meats, we don't see warning labels on those. We should see warning labels. This is going to be the next steps, right? I mean, how much evidence do we need to have? It's crazy. But that's just where we are right now. And I do believe that it's looking up for the future, that this stuff is not going to be a problem in the future. People are going to work this out of their lifestyles. they're going to have even more fun. Okay, uh, I understand too that the other element of alcohol is that people feel their life is such a disaster that the only way they feel decent is by numbing the pain. That's part of the allure of alcohol. Maybe there's a way to do that without, you know, uh, knowingly likely causing cancer, because that would be better. If there was a way, if there is, let me know. Although I don't need to do that. Okay. The other thing is deal with the root cause of the problem. If you have to numb yourself every day because your life is so miserable, why don't we just deal with that? Why is it miserable? Let's deal with the real source, okay? Because putting a band-aid using alcohol is not it, okay? Now, I'm not saying that it's okay to have a drink of alcohol every now and again. But if you're drinking every day, you want to reconsider. If you're drinking alcohol every day, there's more of an issue there. There's way more of an issue, whether you admit it or not. And I don't need to know anything more, just to know that once a day, every day is a major, major problem. Like I said, we know it's the most addicting drug out there, and it happens to be legal. Oh, and that's another reason why, like marijuana and all these other things, weed are going to be legalized, because, I think people are realizing it's not as bad for you. And I never advocate smoking anything. Smoking marijuana is probably just as bad for you as smoking tobacco, so don't think it's okay. It's not. If you're talking about cancer, and I am talking about cancer right here, you don't want to do that. At least not the smoke form. And then, what else? I think we've covered just about everything. Another reason why I think every drug will soon be legal, and this is just my opinion, is because everybody's already on drugs. We got so many health problems that so many adults are on maintenance medications for. And of course, we don't want anyone to be on maintenance meds if you can't avoid it, because they'll have side effects. And they're likely cancer, by the way, is a side effect. But everybody's already on drugs now. It seems like the average adult is on drugs. They all may be legal, they all may be prescribed, they all are likely from something, not in all cases, but likely from something that's lifestyle related and is a choice. So this is another reason why all drugs will soon be legalized, in my opinion, because that's just the society we live in. Everybody's drugged up, and it's sad. But if you're not, that's even better. And like I said, if you want to drink, have some purified water, have some kombucha. Those are pretty much my drinks. And I have started making my own soy milk. Actually, my wife got a soy milk maker, and we're doing that. And that's not that difficult to do, and it saves a tremendous amount of money. And of course, you have none of the additives that are in all the plant milks either. Go look at the containers. All the stuff, I think somebody said fortified foods are bad. Yeah, they are. Because you don't know what you're getting in terms of your nutrients. You're not getting it from the whole plant, which is how you want to get it. Eat a variety of plants. And if you're malnourished, of course, you probably do need to take a supplement. But outside of that, you don't. So anyway, that's about it for the video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll end with, again, a plug. VeganEvents.info is our calendar. VeganEvents.info. Our healthy vegan food is at healthyveganfood.info. Healthyveganfood.info. And then, what's the other one? Oh, subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's where you can comment here. And a lot of people have been commenting from YouTube. VeganVideos.info is our YouTube channel. Please subscribe. We've got all kinds of videos like this. We've got videos from all the speakers at our Veg Fest. We've got all the restaurants I've gone to, which have a lot of non-organic food. But again, we're changing. We're evolving. We're learning. As we learn, we're getting better, right? So we're all getting better. And that's the point of these videos, is to kind of convey the information, give you some positive peer pressure instead of the negative stuff that everybody else is giving you. And just keep learning, keep getting better, and keep improving your life. So that is it. You're welcome, Andrew. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.